Hey guys, and welcome to an update on the 180 gallon Reef tank. I know it's been a little while, so I'll give you guys a little longer look at what's been going on with the system. First, we'll take a quick pan through the tank. Here's our long tentacle anemone. As you can see, the tank is doing very well. Everything is growing very nicely. As you can see, growth plates on this Monty cap. You see around the edges, nice white rim. Everything's growing great. The Possipora, both this toxic green one and the rainbow posse on the other side, have both spawned in the system. And everything's doing good. To give you a quick kind of a breakdown on what has been done with the system, nothing. We don't do any water changes. We run something based off what's called the Dutch synthetic reef system, which means we don't remove things via water change. They remove via filtration, and then things are replenished via a calcium reactor and dosing with a dosing pump. We're going to go through the mechanical system as well, because there have been some changes in that. But other than that, nothing really else as far as inside the system. For water flow, we do use the Jabo RW pumps. In the back wall in the middle, you'll see 4 of the RW8s. And on the sides, there's some of the 15s. That's what creates the flow inside the system. As a return, I have now switched to a Vectra L1. So we did upgrade on that one. Not because the Jabo DC12000 wasn't doing the job, it was, but because I was asked to do a review on the Vectra L1 and test it out, and it is doing wonderfully. As far as lighting, we are still maintaining the Chinese LEDs. 165 watts with the 4 UVs. I am using 4 of the lights over the system, which creates a nice even spread of light with no shadowing inside the tank. The tank filters through 2 overflows that go down into the sump area. The return goes into a filter sock, which goes into the chamber, which is then served by the Corebox D700 skimmer, as it's always been, which dumps into this 5-gallon container. Inside, I do have a Jabo, MaxiJet 1200, which circulates water inside of that chamber. There's also the feed pump for the calcium reactor, as well as the media reactor. The next chamber is our refugium. As you can see, I have some macro in form of Chaeto in there. There's also an RW4 in there that creates water circulation. My 2 sensors for the apex are in there as well for pH and temperature, and it is fed by another Chinese LED form that just has whites. And moving on to the third chamber. That then feeds into the return, which again, there is the Vectra L1 return that has a ball valve to block it, and then goes back and splits off into the 2 returns. In there, I have my JBJ auto top off, which has served me well. I have it flows back from this 5-gallon bucket. I have a Coralin calcium reactor, as you can see there. Now the calcium reactor also feeds back into the return, as well as the doser, which is a Jabo DP4 doser, which doses my distilled white vinegar for my carbon dosing. I have a BRS jumbo reactor, which has GFO and ROX high carbon, which then comes back into the system as well. You can also see that for my calcium reactor, I have my bottle there, and I have the electronic carbon doser from aquariumplants.com. It is an electronic CO2 regulator, and that automatically dictates how much CO2 is then put into the system to keep the reactor running properly and light levels correct. Now all of the pumps are also controlled via the apex. Those RWs that you see inside the tank are controlled via a module for the apex as well. As you can see in the front, there is my display for my apex, and here's where it's all connected. It looks a bit of a mess right now, but you see all the controller for the Vectra up top, the Quiet Drive, and all the modules. So everything that has a plug is controlled via the apex. Every RW, everything that's in there. So just don't think that just because it's not a big name brand light or pump that you can't control it via the apex. My Chinese LEDs are all hooked up and controlled via my apex as well. They ramp up, they ramp down, they do sunrise, they sunset. Same thing with my pumps. They ramp up and they ramp down throughout the day. Everything's controlled via apex. So don't believe that you can't do that as well. This tank doesn't get touched at all. All we do with it is feed it once a day, and then we change out the filter sock and the skimmer as needed, usually once a week. Again, no water changes, nothing like that. It maintains, and this is it's been doing well for about 2 years now. So I'll give you another look throughout the tank. And I'll put in some close-ups as well of some of the polyp extension on some of these corals here at the end of the video. Now guys, if you have any questions, as always, please feel free to shoot them to me via a comment. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And hopefully I'll get back to you guys with an update here in the near future. Again, I apologize for my absence for the last few months. Hopefully this will give you an idea of where it's been for the last little bit.